Hi dear readers, this is Simona Rich. In this video I'm going to talk about free will, whether it exists or not, the way that I understand it, and astrology seems to confirm it. So basically, this world is not real. It's a thought form. It's the same like you are dreaming a dream at night, but since it's a collective dream, it appears to be more real, but it's so similar to the dreams that we have. So for example, when we are dreaming, we really think we are this character and we are making our own choices, and then we wake up and we realized it didn't even exist. So the same, I believe, is true with this world, that we think to be the doers, doing this, wishing that, fearing that, but actually it's a dream, it's not real. But like in the dream at night, we are as though hypnotized, totally identified with the character. So this is not our wishes, this is the wishes of that particular character in the story. But we are so identified with that character, we think that this is what we want, this is what we do. And this is exactly what Nisargadatta Maharaj or Ramana Maharishi would explain. That we are not the doers. We think ourselves to be doing these things, but we are just awareness identified with the character already in a story that is already written. That's where astrology comes. Through astrology, we can understand what happens to that character. But that's actually not even real. This world is not real. And in my opinion, the only free will we have is to disidentify from the body. That's the only freedom that we have. And maybe once we gain enlightenment, that's also when we can be out of the story. But still the body will do what it's supposed to do. Like it was the case with Maharaj. He was living his life as a poor owner of a small shop, and he smoked a lot. And after his enlightenment, he continued doing that. But he knew he had nothing to do with the body, that the body is not him. So he just allowed the body to be. But he was able to see that the body is doing what it's supposed to do, but he was detached from it. But the body is still in that story, so it continued doing what it was supposed to do. However, he had freedom because he knew that if something happens to the body, it's not actually what's happening to him. So that is empowerment. That is, then you are totally fearless because you know that even if something happens to the body, it doesn't really affect you. It doesn't affect who you are. But of course, this kind of awareness doesn't come overnight. Well, maybe it does to some people, like to Eckhart Tolle, who was totally depressed and really sad about how his life was, and then suddenly it happened to him that he became aware. But that's very rare. Usually, this awareness grows through intense spiritual practices. Like when I was in Thailand, I meditated almost the entire time, even at night. And so you sow and then you reap in greater awareness. So it won't come instantly. You have to grow that awareness, and then you understand that actually what we are experiencing is not real. And after these spiritual practices, the world no longer looks as real as it was before. You're as though detaching. Indeed, you are detaching from your body. And then you kind of see this world as dreamlike. And then you can also observe yourself, like that the dream, that some desire is forming, then the mind dwells on that desire, then you take action, the body takes action to achieve it, but actually then you understand it's not you, It was supposed to happen. The same was the case with me about buying a land. It's not that I ever wanted to own anything, but then that thought kept repeating itself in my mind, and then there was a desire to get it, and the body took action to get it. And then now I'm the owner of that land. But it's not that I ever wanted. In the heart, who I am, I don't need to own anything, but the body needs that. The body, it was written in the story of this body to get that land. So that's the very big difference between people who had done spiritual practices and those who didn't, is that those people who were practicing actively spirituality, like through mindfulness, then they understand that the body can pursue things, but actually it's not them. So that's very great freedom, the way that I see it. And for the ego, it can be scary to think that there is no free will in this world, but actually for the soul, it's very freeing. So you're just, because you can be an observer of everything that's happening, and then you can actually enjoy even things that the ego considers frightening or bad, because it's just a dream. So you kind of are watching. It's interesting to watch some movie, for example. So the same happens to you as an observer watching the life that this body is living. So that's for me very interesting and very empowering, and it makes me happy to know that every experience can enrich my soul and that everything is written already. So you kind of relax into that and things just happen. And that's what I believe in Bhagavad Gita. It is also taught, yes, that you are not the doer, that things just happen to you, you are the observer, and that's true. This is so empowering because responsibility has just dropped from your shoulders. You know that what's supposed to happen will happen, so you can just relax and enjoy this story that's already written. So for me, for example, knowing that the script is already written and that script can be read in astrology from charts, this is so empowering because this takes away all responsibility and you can just enjoy watching that story. So for me, this is not frightening. This is actually happiness inducing, that everything is already planned, everything will happen how it's supposed to happen, and I am a watcher of what's happening. But for people who are totally identified with their bodies, they really think they are in this life, taking their own actions, making their own decisions, because that awareness is missing. When you start detaching from the body, you know that the thought processes will take place and then the body will start desiring something and it will act. But you're just a watcher. It's actually not you that's acting. So the more detached you are, the more fascinated you become by what's happening. And really every experience then is a blessing, and you learn from absolutely everything. And then you rest in that peace and quietness that is really you. And then you cannot not take action. When you will have to take action, you will take action because it's already written. The script is written. Everything will happen. And I think that Nisargadatta Maharaj was really insistent on this point, that you cannot just not act. You can just sit in one place and think that you will no longer do anything. But once you're supposed to act, you will act. So for me, this knowledge is not scary. This knowledge is scary for egos, but this knowledge is empowering. Wow. So everything, the story is already written and I'm just a watcher of everything that's happening to this body. And the more you are in that role of a watcher, the more you understand it, the more detachment grows. And this is so empowering. And I still have a long way to go because the grip, the identification with the body is strong. But I'm hoping that in the end it will dissolve, and then I would just be able to totally observe the body in a detached way, but at least I have some sort of detachment, able to understand that I'm not the one who is thinking thoughts, I'm not the one who is desiring things, it's the body. And I'm very blessed to have this awareness, but I know that there is so much more detachment that could happen. So that's all I wanted to share with you. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Take care.